In this video, we're going to learn how to use time to live in ClickHouse. So the time to live functionality is used to remove old data, do data rollup, or move data between disks. We'll focus on the first two use cases in this video. We're going to be working with this Kaggle web server access logs dataset. And so I've got a table already called access logs. So you can see the schema here, and you can see we've got various different fields, and this table has no time to live applied on it. We can write a little query here to get the first row, so you can see what data we'll be working with. So you can see we've got an IP address, we've got timestamp down to the second, HTTP method, request path, and so on. We can then write another query that gets back the current time, the minimum timestamp, the maximum timestamp, and the number of rows in the table. Now the timestamp is what's going to be used to work out how to get rid of data. And so you can see the earliest timestamp is a few days ago, and then the maximum timestamp actually goes beyond today. So we're on the 2nd of February when we're recording this video, and we've got 10 million records. Let's create a new table called access log rows, and notice down the bottom we've got a time to live set on this table so that data is going to be expired after 1 day. So effectively 1 day from whenever it was created, it's going to then be expired, comparing to the current date. Let's write a query to insert the data from access logs into access logs rows, and it'll take a few seconds and then we're ready to go. Now the TTL will be applied when data parts are merged. So this could be either on a ordinary merge that sort of happens in the background all the time, but there's also a special TTL merge that happens every 4 hours. Alternatively, we can force the TTL merge to happen now by calling optimize table, give it the table name, and then final. And you see that takes a couple of seconds and then it's done. We can then run this query that's going to compare that initial table, which has no TTL applied, to the new table that we've just created. And so you can see if you look on the first row, so that the time now is the same. The minimum timestamp of the initial table remains the same, so 30th of January, but the new table, it's now gone up to the 1st of February because we've truncated some data. And then if you look over in the last column, you can see we've got rid of about a little bit over 5 million rows. So that's how we can get rid of rows, just sort of blanketly based on the time, but we can also do it based on a filter. So in this table here, we're saying I want to get rid of rows after 1 day, but only where the status code is 200. So we're only getting rid of the good rows effectively. And so again, let's put the data into that table from our access logs. Again, we'll apply the optimized table clause. And now we're ready to run this query here, where we can have a look at the counts of status codes on our initial table, which remember has no time to live, and then our new table, which does have time to live. And if you have a look at it, you see the only row that changes here is the status code 200. So we've got rid of about 5 million of those, and the other ones all remain the same. Another thing that we can do is we can roll up the data. So imagine we decide I want to get rid of some rows, but I'd like to kind of keep aggregate data around. And so what we need to remember here is that the group by that we use must be a prefix of the primary key, which in this case is the order by. So what we're saying here is I want to group the data by to start of day and IP address. So we're going to keep account of the number of visits that were done by IP address per day. And you'll notice then we're setting the visits is going to be the sum of the visits column, which was defaulted to 1 for each row. And then we're going to round the timestamp down to the start of the day. Again, we'll import the data into the table. It takes a little bit longer on this one because of the different sort key. And then we're going to optimize the table. And then we can run a query against the table just to see what the data looks like now. So you'll notice that the IP address is the same. The timestamp has been rounded down to the day. If we come down and look at visits, you'll see it's bigger than 1. So it used to just be 1 for every row, but now it's been summed by that grouping by timestamp and IP. The values for the other fields, we can mostly ignore them, but they are basically just taking a random value from the list of grouped by rows. And then we can write this query here. So this is what this is going to do. It's going to count the number of rows, and it's going to sum up the visits. And so if we run it, so at the top we see for the initial table where no TTL has been applied. So you see we've got 10.3 million rows, 10.3 million visits. And then on the rolled up one, we're down to 3.3 million rows. So we've got rid of 7 million, but the sum of the visits is the same as it should be. We can then write this query here, which is going to count for each day how many visits have we got. And so on our initial table, we need to just apply that to start of day on the timestamp to round it down to the nearest day. Whereas on the rollup one, we don't need to do that because it's already been done in the table itself. And you see we get back the comparison of the visits on each side. So they're the same for the first 3 days. But then when we get to the 2nd of February, notice we haven't actually completed that day yet. And so not all the data has been rolled up. And so you can see like when we get to the last row, we've got 11:16 on the 2nd of February. Whereas on the left-hand side, we've kind of rolled everything up. Right, let's have a look at one more. So we don't have to do it only on a row basis, we can also do it on a column basis. And so that's what we do in this table. So we're saying we want to do this for IP address and user agent. And so what's going to happen is that those columns will just be set to empty when that TTL is reached. And again, we'll put the data into that table. And we're going to then call the optimize command again. And then we'll write a query here. And so what we're doing here is we're counting, again, comparing the table with no TTL with the columns TTL one. We're going to count how many IP addresses are empty and how many user agent fields are empty. And so you can see on the top, this is the one with no TTL. See, there's no anonymous IPs and no anonymous agents. Whereas for the one where we were effectively removing the values in the columns, we've got about 5.5 million each. And if you want to see more ClickHouse videos, you'll want to check out this playlist next.